And there we are. Excuse the technical difficulties. I'm David Jones with Hoops Hitting Gems podcast. Happy New Year's. How's everybody doing? Hope they enjoyed their holiday. I spent my holiday checking out tournaments and really got just a small chance to relax because towards the end, as we all know, COVID's starting to become a issue like in the past. So it's just one of those situations where I look at it, we'll see how COVID affects the new year, but hopefully it shouldn't affect it no more than 1 or 2 weeks. Hopefully, fingers crossed. We also, I just want to finish the year out and get into the AAU season and get into the summer. But the one thing I'll ask everybody is just be safe out there, be careful. And when you're at these events, wear your mask. By all means, please wear your mask. I just look at this. We're still trying to figure out COVID. The good thing is people aren't having as severe as cases as they were in the past. And some of the symptoms are mild for some of the people that are catching it. But unfortunately, COVID is more contagious than the last strand, and prayers goes out to everybody that is down with it right now. It's not a game. It's just honestly not a game out here. Just need everybody to be careful out here, and getting past that. Got a pretty decent show we got lined up for tonight. We got some interesting guests that'll be here very shortly. Coach Rory Welsh, we're working on getting him on the show right now. And then we'll have Coach Antoine Jackson from East Carolina University. So we just wanted to start the show off this year with some pretty good coaches. And, as usual, we'll be going through the whole year with a number of great coaches, some special guests from all over the country, dropping knowledge as usual, education-wise, talking basketball. And, a lot of times what I want to talk about this year as well is, we want kids to understand that everything is not going to be given to them immediately. A lot of you guys that are in high school, you have to understand that what's going to happen probably in your freshman year is you're going to get the shock of your life and you're not going to play as much as you're accustomed to. And what it's going to come down to is, are you going to work hard to get better, to get more adjusted to the system, to beat out that guy that's in front of you? Or, sometimes, I can't say leaving and transferring is not always the right move, because for some people that transfer, some people transfer up from D3 or D2 to D1, and they end up being really good D1 players. Or some people transfer down and go from D1 where they weren't playing that much, and they turn around and be all-conference D2 or all-American or all-conference NAIA or all-conference D3. What we got to do is get this stigma out of people's minds to think that this is just a really bad situation, whatever level you go to. And I just look at it like I want people to understand that going to play college basketball is definitely a privilege. I'll keep that short for right now because our guest is just logged on. So we'll go with our first guest that's coming on from Langston Hughes High School here in Atlanta, Georgia. We got Coach Rory Welsh, and I'm going to bring him on. How you doing today, Coach?
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me.
Oh, man, anytime, man. I'm a big fan of yours, man, and what you're doing over there at Langston Hughes. We've talked on the phone and through DMs a little bit. And, as my son played against you guys, and I was definitely impressed with what you guys are doing over there. So how's the season going so far?
We're 6-5. We honestly feel like we could be 8-3. We let a couple slip out of our grasp that we pretty much had locked up. So you go through roller coaster of a season, just like any other year, whether you're having a successful year or a down year. You wish you could have some back, just like any other season.
Yeah.
But we feel good about where we're at right now, heading into the thick of things in our region. We got a big region game tomorrow night at home versus Tucker. So
Oh
that'll,
yeah.
really, give us some signs on where we're headed and where we're at. But we're very confident going into this game, and we're happy that everybody is healthy and in tow, and we're ready to rock and roll and just see where we're at.
Now, is this game at Tucker or is that at Langston Hughes?
We're hosting. It's a home game for us, so it's at Langston Hughes High School. We'll tip off at 7 p.m. tomorrow.
Okay, gotcha. I'll try and pull up to that one and check that one out because I definitely like the gym because last time I was there, who was that? You retired somebody's number last time.
Yeah. So you came when we played Lakeside DeKalb. So yeah, we retired
Yes.
Sanchez Landers Nolly. We call him Sanchez by his nickname, but yeah, we retired his jersey, deservedly so. He was the first inductee into the Langston Hughes Athletics Hall of Fame. And his jersey will never be worn again by any basketball player through the men's program at Langston Hughes, for what he did while he was in high school. And, he's had a very successful college career as well. So
Yes.
I wanted to make sure that thing was done. And I was happy that he was able to be there. So it went very well for us.
Okay. So, man, you've enjoyed a lot of success at Langston Hughes. And, I'm not going to sit up here and ask you for your secret sauce, but what do you expect from your players? That's always what I wonder from, good coaches like yourself and the culture. What do you expect if I'm going to be a player at Langston Hughes?
Well, we expect the year-round commitment. That's the main thing. Our coaching staff is committed year-round. Our administrators, our faculty, our teachers, our custodians, everybody in the building is committed to helping these young men put themselves in a position to be successful and to help, Langston Hughes achieve success on and off the playing surface. So we expect the same commitment, level from those guys that are privileged enough to become a member of the program. Just like any other high school, making a high school basketball team on this level, the 6A, 7A level in a city like Atlanta and a state like Georgia, is difficult. And it's a privilege when you do get an opportunity to wear that uniform. So we expect guys to wear it with pride, to play with pride, to conduct themselves the way that their parents have raised them to conduct themselves, even when their parents are not around. We're really big on culture. We're really big on commitment. We're really big on just doing things the right way, and we don't cut no corners, man. So we really have we have like a little short list. We don't like to give the guys a million demands, so we just have 3 things that we demand, from our program, from any guy in our program that becomes a member of the varsity program, and we just demand 3 things. The first thing we demand that you play hard, like you're going to play as hard as you possibly can the whole time you're on the floor, or you're not going to be on the floor. It's that simple. So that's the first demand. Like, you're going to play hard. I'm not going to coach effort. We're not going to coach effort. As soon as we see a slippage in that, it's an easy substitution for us, and in practice, we always kind of like jokingly with the guys, tell them all the time, if that effort starts slipping or you start dragging or taking plays off, you're going to be the Ant-Man. And the Ant-Man for us is when you hear that horn and it goes, and you finish the game. So yeah, that's the Ant-Man for us. So, you're going to play hard the whole time you're out there. The next thing is we demand that you be unselfish. You have to move the ball. You can't be a hog. We expect guys to buy into the team concept. We kind of have, I don't want to say a free-flowing offense, but we have an offense where everybody has an opportunity to touch the ball. And when you have opportunities to touch the ball, you got to make good decisions with it. And then lastly, we just demand that you execute. We get down into the thick of things, we don't expect to be blowing people out by 20, 30-point margins. The schedule we usually play is a pretty tough schedule, and usually it's going to come down to execution at the end. So we demand that guys execute. So those are just the 3 things we demand on the floor, in practice, and we hold them to it. We don't cut no corners. We hold them to it every day.
Absolutely, man. And what I look at when I watch you guys play, and number one, I look at the schedule you play. You guys play a tough schedule. But for me, like you said, you're what, 6-5, you said right now?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But I think it's going to pay dividends come February. That's just my opinion. Seeing the type of teams you played, I've also watched you play at Lemon Street as well, you know, and you guys played River Ridge, if I'm not mistaken, right?
No, we played Etowah,
That's right.
Gwinnett, and Grovetown. 3 really good teams.
And 3 really good teams. You played 3 really good teams. And seeing you guys play out there, you know, number one, like I said, you know, shouts out to the Lemon Street Classic for putting out, you know, a great tournament. And like you said, you had 3 tough games. Grovetown is good. Etowah, watching that game was like watching you guys play chess. And I got to give you all the credit because that game was a coaching game more than anything. And some of the moves you made at the end of the game paid off big time for you to grab that W, because it looked like Etowah had you guys up against the ropes until you guys start, you know, switching some things up. And I was like, man, you know, I tweeted out about that. I was like, man, it was the coaching in this one. And let me say this, hats off to Etowah's coach. I mean, he had a great game plan, but you making some of those changes at the end. And to be honest, you can see your kids just getting hungrier. And, you know, when that momentum started to change, you know, like you said, it was that effort that was it right there, man. And that was one of the better games of the tournament right there. You know, now let me ask this, as, you know, as we're even talking about your team, you know, tell me some more about your roster that you have. You know, like you know already when we were texting and DMing, you know, I love the big fella. You say he's a football player, you know. I think he had a future, but you said he got some 5-star, you know, offensive football. I was like, oh, I understand 100%.
Yeah. So, you know, the big fella inside, Jelani Thurman, you know, the first few games we didn't have him. Our football team, you know, played all the way in the finals for the 6A, you know, championship. You know, we lost to Buford. With 2-3 seconds left with a missed field goal,
right?
It broke our heart, man. Like literally broke our heart. You know, we got a family affair over at Langston Hughes. You know, football coaches, basketball coaches, tennis coach. It don't matter what sport you coach or what you teach. We have a family environment. We support each other 110%. So, you know, it really broke us in half for us to lose that game like that. But Jelani Thurman, we call him Tank. His nickname is Tank. He just brings a whole different dynamic to what we do. You know, we need a big guy inside who does the dirty work, and that's exactly what he is. He's not a finesse guy. He's not out there trying to float around and be a small forward or a guard. We told him, when you come out here, we just want you to be a goon. We want you to fling your body around. We want you to finish strong around the basket. We want you to go over after every rebound like your life depends on it. We want you to use all 5 fouls. You know, we want you to be the enforcer. Last year, he showed flashes of being able to do that, you know, but he was a younger dude. He's only a sophomore. And then after really committing himself year round, he played AAU ball. Even though he plays football, he played AAU through the whole way with AJ Bouye. So he played from, you know, February all the way through July. And then he was doing football in between. So he had a great summer for us, but he gives us that dynamic on the inside. And then we got another big fella who's a big-time football player as well, Jonathan Hugley. He's committed to UGA. He's 6'7", 290, big offensive tackle. And he's, you know, they're like, you know, Amos and Andy for us, you know, the tag team at that 5 position. So those 2 guys give us a big-time presence on the interior. So it hurt us early on not having them. You know, really, if we had them guys early in the season, we probably are, you know, 8-3 right now, whatever it may be. So, you know, those 2 guys do a lot for us. We have Kobe Davis, who's a 4-year starter for us at the combo guard position. Lefty, Cat Quick. Came into the season a little hobbled. You know, he twisted his ankle in the scrimmage game versus Wheeler. Took a little time to bounce back from that. You know, still trying to find his rhythm. He's kind of coming to it a little bit these last couple of games. So, you know, we're hoping that he has a really good second half of the season. He was an all-region player last year and averaged, you know, 16 points for us. So we need him to get back, you know, in the flow of things. Then we got a young fellow who's really established himself, and that young fella's name is John Mcqueen. He's a sophomore. He's about 6'5", and you know he's a scorer. He can do it off the bounce. You know, he can do it in the post. He can do it in the mid range. He can shoot 3 a little bit, but the way he can create off the dribble, he's athletic. He just adds a big time dynamic to us at that three position with good size, and then he's a scorer, so we can rely on him for offense. At the 4 position, we had a young man who's a senior who really just came in and just snatched minutes away from other dudes. Like we had a 7'7", seven-man senior class, and now it's a 6-man senior class. We had one gentleman leave right in the at the Christmas break. So this young man just really stepped in and gave us everything we need. And that young man is Marquis Black. He's about 6'3", maybe, but a really good athlete and just, the consummate glue guy. He just can guard anybody. He's a slasher. He turns down shots. He's a ball mover, but he's a great defender. He's unselfish. He does everything it takes for a team to win. He's the first guy on the floor for a loose ball. He never misses a box out. He knows all of his packages, offensively and defensively. So he really has made a difference for us since inserting him into the starting lineup. I think maybe 3 or 4 games into the season, it was like, okay, this dude is just outworking everybody. So Marquis Black has really, really been a bright spot for us. And then we've got another young man, Cabram Roberts, a junior, who's about 6'2", can really shoot it. He made the all-tournament team at Lemon Street. And then we got the 2 twins, Jordan and Jaron Williams, the two little scat backs. We throw them out there, and they just love to guard people, and they're the quickest guys on the floor, and they just give us that speed and that edge, and they just play hard as heck. So those are the main dudes that they were rotating in and out. And we got a couple other pups that are starting to feel their way out, and we got another senior who got hit with the COVID bug, and we need to get him back in the flow. He's about 6'5", and that young man can really play. His name's Tim James Jr. He got off to a really good start early in the season. Then, he got that bug, and he's kind of trying to bounce back. So once we get him up to snuff, man, we feel really good about going into this thing the back half of the season.
One of the guys, and I need your assistance on this one. Number 23. I love him.
Yeah. That's John Mcqueen. Yeah.
I love him, man. Yeah. He's tough, man.
Yeah, he's tough.
He fits your personality as everything you just said. I really like him. That's the guy that stood out. Yeah.
He's got a chance to be a high major Division I player as a sophomore.
Oh, he's a sophomore.
Yeah, he's a 10th. That boy's 15, man. I mean, he's got great bloodlines. His dad played the game. His dad's about 6'5", 6'6". His mom's probably about 5'11". I mean, he'll probably grow another couple inches. But what he can do off the bounce, we could just get him to bring his hard hat every day. We just tell him, man, hey, man, once you stop taking plays off, bro, you're gonna be pretty good. So he's gonna be really, really good. And now he's really getting a hold of the system, which he struggled with early on. It was a lot being thrown at him as a young pup. And I think once he gets a really good hold on it and gets his sweet spots down packed, he's going to really flourish.
I agree 100%. And that's why I wanted to mention, because I didn't know his name. I said, I like that guy. I like him. You can see the potential. You can definitely see the potential.
Definitely big time potential.
Exactly. So, one of the things, I want, the listeners to hear is, anybody that's involved in the Atlanta community, they know about Langston Hughes, but just tell me about some of the guys that you coached previously that have went on to play college ball, whether it be college and, whether it was big time or, because you guys have a reputation for putting guys in college, correct?
Yeah. We've been blessed, man. We're in an area where we got some pretty good talent. We got some pretty good athletes. We've been able to build this thing. This is my 10th season at Langston. I'm only the second head coach there in the school's history. Yeah. The guy that was there previous to me, Darius Hodge, he was there for the first 3 years the school was open, and then I came in the 4th year with the first graduating class, and immediately, that graduating class was in 2012-13, and kind of got them guys through. That wasn't my team. I was just coaching another guy's team. Just got the job and made the best out of it. But we were lucky to have some young pups right then from the gate. We had some 8th graders, that we built the program around from that first year. I started 3 freshmen my second year there. Chumo Kiki being the main dude. Being a high major Division I player. He's being a pro. He's a starting power forward for the Orlando Magic. So we built the program around Chuma. His talent was just elite from a young age. He was just, he was a unicorn from the first time I looked at him as an 8th grader. He was about 6'4", 6'5", and it wasn't his athleticism or anything like that, or the way he just dominated. It was just the fact that he was good at every facet of the game. And we built the program around him. We started him as a freshman, and then he really flourished as a sophomore for us, making All-State. and averaged about 21 and 8 as a sophomore. And we started 2 other sophomores with him that year. His sophomore year, we started 4 sophomores. So Derek Cook was the 6'4" point guard. He went on to Northeastern University and then to Jacksonville. Khalil Cuffey was about a 6'4" 2 guard who signed with Southeast Missouri State out of high school for us. And now he's playing for Coach Cabral Huff over at
Voorhees.
At Voorhees, yeah, my dude.
Yes, sir. That's my guy too. What up, Huff?
Yeah, so he's still hooping and sticking with it. He's only a junior. He's got some more eligibility left. And then we had another kid, Ahmed Bryant, who was a walk-on for Coach Rob Lanier at Georgia State University. We had 2 other guys that went JUCO that year. And then we kind of kept it going a little bit. We were fortunate to get another guy to come into the program, and Landers Nolly, who was just, just a blur just in terms of how he came to the state and just dominated coming from Chicago. And, moving in his sophomore year right after our season ended, and then we got him in the flow the next year, his junior year, and he made All-State and won Player of the Year his senior year, and went to Virginia Tech and made the All-Rookie team and in the ACC. Now he's at Memphis, and he made first-team All-Conference last year, and he's getting this thing together, and he's having a decent season this year. And we got Tyrell Morgan, who's playing at Texas State, who was a 2-year starter for us on both of our state championship teams. He's a 3-man for Texas State. We got PJ Carter up at Campbell University, who's a sophomore.
PJ, yeah.
That's our dude. He was a region player of the year. Had a very, very good career. We had Cason Jennings, who was a starting point guard at Kennesaw State University. He came in his senior year, 6'3", 6'4", big, strong point guard. It's just a natural, just so much command at that position. He came in and helped win us 22 games that year. We made it to the Elite Eight. We really had an opportunity to win the state championship that year. We really let that thing slip through our grasp. Then we got Tyler Smith. He's up at Reinhardt. So we've got some guys on all levels, junior college, NAIA, Division II, Division I, and we got a guy in the pros. We think we'll have another guy in the pros next year, hopefully, if Landers can kind of see this thing through. So,
but Coach, you just hit it right on the head. What you just said, I'm going to basically clip that. You got guys on all levels. So it's not that D1 or bust mentality.
No,
you know what I'm saying? Like you mentioned Huff, Huff's at NAI, you mentioned at Reinhardt, you mentioned D2, you mentioned Texas State, you mentioned high major. And man, that's what I can applaud you for. Like, whatever level fits the kid, you're looking for that opportunity. Because as we know, every coach doesn't put in that work to get them past this level. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. And we got guys as walk-ons, whatever to give a guy the opportunity, continuous playing career, and to get his education, So that's what we're all about. Opening doors to get guys to get that 4-year degree, to have an opportunity to be a part of something bigger than themselves, and to do something that very few people have the opportunity to do, which is to play college basketball.
So, and that leads into my next question. So, of course, you guys played in GHSA team camp. What other team camps did you play in?
We keep it really close to the vest in terms of we get so much good work here in Atlanta. We really don't need to go and spend $5,000 on traveling the country to go to folks' team camps all over the place. The only places we've ever been out of state for team camps in the summer was Florida State. Cause CY,
yes, sir.
Way back. He recruited one of my main dudes back in the day, Justin Toyo, who was the SoCon Defensive Player of the Year 3 years in a row at UTC. But he was trying to get him really hard at when he was the head coach at Georgia Southern. But and then I used to work the Georgia Tech camps when Paul Hewitt was there, and CY was his assistant. So we go way back. So we would go down to Florida State to their team camp, which is a really good camp too, though. Just some really good bump. And it ain't that far, far enough to get the guys away, but not too far where it's, busting our pockets wide open. So, we would go there and then we'd go to UTC, back in the day when, Will Wade was the head coach there. That's my dude from way back. And Matt McCall was the head coach. We went there as well. They recruited some guys. But other than that, man, we go to Georgia State University every single year. We go to Georgia Tech every single year. And, first off, it's some really good run.
Yes,
but
it is.
We don't have to spend a lot of money to get some good competition and get some good work in the summer and get the guys some exposure as well. We've had guys get, recruitment off of those camps. So those are the two main college campuses we would visit. And then we just would do a lot of play dates where we host like a little we call it the Panther Shootout. We just invite some teams locally, usually, some hard hitters, South Atlanta, South Cobb, Douglas County, mostly South Metro schools. Come in, and then we always go to Woodward Academy, my boy Ant, over there. I played against Ant in high school. That's my dude. We go way back. So we always go to Woodward and make that. And that's right up the road from us. And we get some good run over there. He has a great little event that he runs annually. So, we kind of keep it in the metro. We don't have to travel far. But Georgia State and Georgia Tech, those are mainstays for us. They're right here in our backyard. Great run. And it's doable for our program.
And of course, GHSA, GHSA.
Oh my God! Yeah, now that's
was that phenomenal last year?
Oh
man?
yeah. I mean, unbelievable. Just the last 2 years, it's just really blown up, man. And it's just, you see how I'm part of the committee that kind of put it together, and just to see how if the fruition and how it started. And I remember literally hearing the news that there was going to be a live period in June for high school, and I'm sitting there thinking like, I ain't heard nothing about this. So then, I'm also the assistant athletic director at Langston Hughes. So, literally, the very next week, we had a county AD meeting, and Robin Hines, who's the executive president, actually the president of GHSA, was in the meeting. So he's doing Q&A, and I'm like, hey, so what do you guys have planned for this scholastic camp that just got approved by the NCAA, 2 weeks ago? He's like, I'm so glad you asked that question because we need you guys to figure it out. So, yeah, it was just something that was thrown upon the state. And just a few coaches got together and said, hey, man, let's try to make this thing happen. And to see what level it's grown to now and what's coming out of it, we're going to have the best all-star game in the history of the state. That's going to be, this spring, which is a direct, a direct correlation with the GHSA camp. So, yeah, it's going to be right over here at the Skyhawks Arena. It's going to be big time. Yeah, the junior senior all-star game. And
when is that?
The date on it is March. Lord, don't ask me. You put me on the spot. It's March something. It's in March, brother. It's in March. Yeah.
I need to put that on my calendar.
Yeah. So that grew from the GHSA team camp. So now we're able to have this event, and we were able to host a clinic last year. And so, things have really grown from that GHSA team camp to give offsprings of different events that all just add to the basketball environment here in Atlanta and Georgia in general.
Listen, let me tip my hat off to you on that. Well, let me tip my hat off first to you on the phenomenal job you guys have done with GHSA. So I was fortunate enough to be one of the commentators for SUV there. All and right. So, I was in heaven right there. I got one of the best seats in the house.
Oh, you saw the best of the best.
Oh, yes, I did. Yeah. Yes, I did. But, man, like you said, there was, close to 175 college coaches there?
Man, every day.
Yeah, every day. And then on top of even that, we had some of the best talent coming from out of state as well, because the one team I raved about was that Centerville team.
Oh my God, from Ohio. Yes,
man. Centerville and Dr. Phillips. Yeah, those two teams, I was like, oh, wow. So this year, I've already went out of state a couple times to, I went to go watch Duncanville play. And so everybody's saying that between team camps, it's between a toss-up between Texas and Georgia for the best team camp, and then Rock Hill was the third best. Wow. But I thought every coach I've talked to, they said for a high school team camp, they would be at Georgia or Texas, or they split up their staff to go to one or the other. Yeah. And that's just a commitment to you and the rest of the guys that were on that staff, because, man, I raved about that thing for about 3 weeks after it was over. I was like, man, both weeks were very good.
Yeah, and the matchups were just really on point.
Yeah.
Coach Ryan Kudell and Alan Whitehart, they really grasped that whole scheduling deal up at Milton. They really did a good job of pinpointing some good matchups. And, it couldn't have came out no better. And there were some Georgia teams that just was, hitting dudes with the buzzsaw. Like if your team wasn't ready, I could tell you 3 teams that you did not want to play at GHSA team camp if you was not ready. And that was Eagles Landing, Tri-Cities, and Archer. If you played one of them 3 teams and you had a finesse group, it was going to be a rough day for you.
I'm going to give you a 4th team. I'm going to give you a 4th team out of that group.
Who?
Druid Hills.
Oh, yeah. Druid Hills go. They play hard, man.
Yeah.
They play hard. Yes.
Yeah, like you said, they bring their
their
lunch pails with them, and they play hard.
Yeah.
Shout out to my man Stroud over there, Coach Stroud, man. He does a good job, too. With the talent he has and getting them to buy in to play like that, I was like, oh, man. And just like all the teams you just named, plus like some of the players that came out of that you might not have seen. And you're like, who is this guy? Who is this guy?
Yeah.
And we were talking about it on SUV TV, like this guy just made it, we call it, he just made some money because he was about to get some scholarship offers. And coming into the camp, you might not even had no idea who he was.
Yep, exactly.
And that was the great thing about that, man. And man, whatever you guys are doing, please keep doing it. I mean, they had people, I'm from Pittsburgh, and I got coaches in Pittsburgh asking me about that event.
Wow. Yeah, it's a national level event now at this point.
Yes, absolutely. So this year, actually, what I'm going to do this year, I'm going to split my time this year.
Okay.
Because I want to see what Texas team camp looks like compared to Georgia's.
Okay.
To see what they do, see their level of competition compared to Georgia's. And of course, I'll be back. So I'll probably do the first day in Texas, and I'll come back and do Georgia's the second day. And then the second week, I'll be here the whole time. But yeah, man, I'm too excited for that, man. Too excited.
And, hey, let us know your notes too, man. Let us know what they did that was different from ours. And we always trying to make things better, man. So definitely,
man, listen. You be on my Twitter checking things out. So when I'm out there, I will be out there tweeting about what they're doing, their players, the atmosphere. I'll be tweeting about all of that. So, and I'll probably take some live shots while I'm out there as well. But, just like I do at Georgia's team camp, when I get the chance outside of commentating, I'm out there tweeting about, what we're doing here, some of the out-of-state teams that come, as we mentioned, because some of those teams were, oh, my goodness. Like I said, Centerville had everybody's attention, and so did Dr. Phillips.
Definitely.
And what I'm excited to see is I know, unfortunately, we can only take but a handful of out-of-state teams because, we want to give, Georgia teams their opportunity. Correct. But I can't wait to see what teams actually come from out of state this year, man.
Yeah, you never know. And, there's been rumblings, too, of the NCAA potentially changing the format instead of making it a state-by-state deal and changing it to a regional deal. So it might just be Southeast live camp or in the Northeast and, Midwest and a Southwest. So if that were to happen, then it will be a situation where you could only take the best out of best from each state in the surrounding area. So we don't know. We'll find out. We'll find out sooner than later, hopefully.
Now, the one team, and this is my advocating, that I would love to see come, and they're right down the road, I want to see Ramsey from Birmingham come.
Oh, yeah. I played them a few years ago, man.
I love Ramsey.
A few years ago. They had some players too, man. They had a dynamic 6'9" face up forward. This was in 18-19. No, 18-19. Yeah, 18-19. We went out of state to go play in the Memphis versus Birmingham versus Atlanta event.
Okay.
And it was hosted at Ramsey.
Yeah.
And it was hosted at Ramsey, and we got an opportunity to play them. We beat them. It was a tough game, but they had a really good program. I forgot the coach's name. Really good dude, but really well-ran event. Beautiful campus, and they had a good team. Good team.
Absolutely. And like I said, man, I'm not worried about the quality of the event. I just can't wait to see when it drops what teams are going to be in it, because I'll be definitely tweeting out about that. No doubt. And, Coach, I want to thank you for coming on the show. I mean, it's not like I had to introduce you to the basketball community. Everybody knows Coach Welsh and what you do. You do a phenomenal job over there. Tomorrow, now, I don't know what your guidelines are for tomorrow. If I'm allowed in,
we got you. Yeah, we'll definitely allow media, man. Just let me know. First, send me the confirmation. You definitely come in. I'll put you down. You'll be able to come in. Just wear your mask, brother. And
definitely. No question about that.
Yeah.
Hey, man, I appreciate you, man. Listen, this will not be the last time. I consider you one of our blue bloods in the Atlanta area. Like all the blue blood coaches, I have them on multiple times, man. And, it's been a pleasure meeting you and getting to know you, man. So, I'll definitely be there to support the game I actually wanted to see. I mean, and I want to see the Tucker game because, Coach Archery's a great coach as well.
Oh, no
I wanted to see the Langston Hughes Westlake game, man.
Hey, man, you and everybody else in Georgia, baby. Hey, you got a chance. Hey, you got a chance. They got to come to us. So I believe it's January 25th. Yeah, they're in our league. So I think it's January 25th, man. You better be there, but get there early, brother.
Oh, I will. Trust me, I will get there early for that one because I know that's going to be a sellout there.
Yeah,
I already know. I'll be there for the JV game or the girls.
That's how you do it. Just make a day of it.
Absolutely, because actually, I'm seeing your girls play.
Oh, yeah, our girls are solid now. Our girls got a chance to do some things.
Oh, yeah.
Shout out to Coach Trice. That's my dude. They got a chance to do some things. They beat
Raven is over there, right?
Last time they played.
Is it Raven? Is it Raven over there?
Raven Thompson. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she's tough. I saw her play up in Norcross. I think that was the On the Radar tip-off one, and the girls got to play. No, it was the Naismith Classic.
Hawks
Naismith Classic.
Mm-hmm.
Man, she is tough. Yeah, and I met her dad while I was there. I was like, listen, bro, I don't know what you're doing. I said, that's little Bark. I said, that's Miss Barkley right there.
Yeah, she's tough, man. She's dynamic, and it's just crazy how she can handle and she can wiggle, and she's got soft touch, but she's a bruiser too. So man, we love her game, man. Hopefully they can push this thing all the way to the end.
I think it's Tamaya, right?
Tamia Stargell.
Tamia Stargell. Yes. Mm-hmm. Those are the two that stuck out to me.
Batman and Robin.
Yeah, I like those two. But, like I said, Coach, I'm going to pull up tomorrow and check you guys out, man. Best of luck tomorrow because, Tucker got a pretty tough squad too. So, actually, man, your region's not that bad this year, man.
It's a tough league, don't get it twisted. So us, Westlake, Tucker, North Atlanta's got a good team. And
North Atlanta.
We got some heavy hitters on the south side too that'll come up and pluck you off if you don't bring your A game with Lovejoy and Morrow. Yeah. And then we got Lakeside the Cab, man. My boy Bassett got him a couple little young pups over there.
Yeah.
So man. Hey, you can't take no days off. So that's something.
Absolutely, man. And it's funny you mentioned that. When I watched the Lakeside the Cab Langston Hughes game, that was really actually a good game. I was like, oh man. Like you said,
that boy gonna be good, man. He's gonna be good.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, the point guard, I think it's AJ Wheeler is his name.
Okay. Yeah. He's gonna be good. Yes, sir.
Yeah, so they got some pieces. They got the two guards at the guard tandem and the big guy down low.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so they got some pieces.
Yeah, so slowly but surely, and that only adds to the league. But actually, this is the realignment's coming next year. So
so we won't be with them. Yeah.
So, Coach, like I said, man, I will be over there tomorrow, man. I appreciate you coming on. Listen, if anybody doesn't know about Langston Hughes and you're in Atlanta basketball, you are definitely under a rock, and that's. Just know, and this is what it is. Everybody knows about Langston Hughes and what you guys are doing over there. You have a phenomenal program over there, man, and I love what you're doing, man. You keep doing it, and what you're doing to GHSA is awesome, man. It's not only taking Atlanta but Georgia basketball to a whole nother level. That when I go to Texas or when I go back home or when I go to North Carolina, everybody raves about Georgia basketball.
Wow, that's good. We appreciate that, man, for sure. That's
definitely good. And as the media, man, we got to do our part to keep Georgia on the map too, man.
That's right. We appreciate the coverage, man. And hey, man, you got to open invitation to stop by whenever for practice, for a game. You just give me a shout, man, and we'll get you on in there.
Definitely, man. I appreciate you, man. So, man, I'm gonna see you tomorrow, man, to see that tough game against Tucker, and we'll be talking real soon. All right.
All right. Appreciate you, my brother. You take it
no problem, Coach Wells. You take care. As Coach Wells from Langston Hughes High School, listen, one of the true blue bloods out here, definitely. And Langston Hughes, I love what they bring to the table. It's just one of those programs where coaches, when they come to look at Georgia basketball, they are coming to look at Langston Hughes. They're coming to look at Wheeler. They're coming to look at Milton. They're coming to look at Norcross. They're coming to look at Pebblebrook. My bad, George. They're coming to look at Pebblebrook. They're coming to look at Newton. They're coming to look at Pace. We have that type of atmosphere. They're coming to look at Tucker. They're coming to look at Columbia. Like, all those teams bring something really good. And my man from Grayson, don't chop my head off. Grayson's coach, man, that's my guy. Listen, Grayson got an awesome program as well. So, man, I could go on and on about that, but our next guest is here. Man, listen, when I tell people about relationships, and you just never know when you're going to meet somebody, and you never know who's watching. You know, I met this coach at one of the JUCO jamborees. We hit it off, and, you know, I was just out tweeting my notes out, and he hit me and I hit him, and we start talking. And, man, when we start talking, when you meet somebody as passionate as this and we talk basketball, you know, a 20-minute conversation could turn into 2 hours, 3 hours, you know, and very knowledgeable guy. Like, when I talk to him, a lot of times when I get off the phone, I'm still like, man, boy, he kicked me with some knowledge right there. I got to think about what he just said. But without further ado, I want to bring Coach Antoine Jackson from East Carolina University, assistant coach, on. How you doing today, brother? Can you hear me?
Yeah, yes, sir. I can hear you. I can hear you.
Okay, man. How you doing today, man?
Man, I'm doing great, man. Thanks for having me, man. You let me get my little old man workout in before I got on.
Oh, man, you already know. Look, I need to be in there with you getting them workouts on, bro. Man, you know, what people don't understand, man, as we jump into this, people sleep on East Carolina University and what you guys bring to the table. And we talked about this earlier about how good you guys really are, but people don't really understand. You know, we talk about recruitment all the time when we talk about players, but, you know, sometimes people think, oh, East Carolina, oh, that's a mid-major or a low major. No, bro, you got it twisted. They got some dogs up there. They got some really good players. And, you know, one of the things I wanted to bring you on today about is, you know, people don't understand, especially high school kids, that it's rough out here. And you know it's rough out here from a recruiting standpoint. And you guys are taking the best of the best, not just some leftovers, correct?
Right. Yeah, correct. And what you said with people, you know, don't see us as you know, as how good we are. Well, you know, basketball history has something to do with that. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And that's one of the things that we're working at, you know, turning the tide. Okay. And last year we had a terrific start, and then we got hit twice with COVID, just as everybody, you know, a lot of other people did too. Okay. But
Yeah.
we were ones that we needed everything to go right. You know, we needed everything to go right. We had, you know, it happened at the wrong time, you know. And then we're playing a really, really hard league, a really, really hard league. So, and if people, you know, didn't necessarily know before, I was at Cincinnati for 7 years, you know, prior to coming here. But you know, Houston going to the Final Four. I mean, that wasn't no fluke. And you know what? To be honest with you, they just had two horrific injuries to guys that, you know, because to me they would have had a chance to go right back. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, so I feel for them, because I hate to see that happen.
Definitely.
But hey, you know, we've gotten off to pretty good start, you know. And you know, we haven't played a couple games because we had to pause a little bit coming off Christmas break. We aren't the only ones. There's a lot of others that do the same thing.
I think just last time I looked, I think it was up to 70 programs that had to pause between December and now. So
yeah, I mean, it's been like literally every night like yesterday, I want to say it was like 23 games, and Sundays are light days. That's a big number for a
Yeah.
Sunday. 23 games to be, to be down. I could be off by a few. But it's been in that range, 20 to 30 games, especially since we've been back.
So how's that going to affect
Excuse me.
y'all? How's that going to affect y'all? So are some of these are league games now, so you're going to have to make those league games up, right?
Yeah, so essentially before we came, back going into the season, they were saying that, okay, last year, we tried to reschedule games, and if somebody else was on pause and you couldn't play, and you could play somebody else, we just rescheduled that way. But this year, they was like, look, if you can't play, the team that can't play was going to be a forfeit. So that's what they were saying. So the first that I saw this happen was actually in the Pac-12. Washington was going to play, might have been UCLA.
Okay.
And Washington had to pause, so they couldn't play. So the NCAA does not recognize games that have not been played. And this is before, the rules have been changed. So the NCAA wouldn't recognize games not played, but in the league, University of Washington was going to be 0-1. So then Washington had also played Arizona after that. Couldn't play Arizona. So they were going to be 0-2. So then, then around the country, it started to pop up. And right before we were leaving to go on Christmas break, we were talking, and the Big East was the first one. They were looking to change it, right off the rip before we came back off Christmas break. So they were the first ones to be like, look, we're not doing that. You can't play the game. You can't play the game. We reschedule, fine. If not, keep moving forward. So they had went away with the forfeit rule. And then slowly but surely, leagues started to change their stance on that. Which, come on, man. It's people catching COVID, man. And it ain't these kids' fault, man. Okay?
Yeah.
It's not the coach's fault. It's just, we're dealing with a global pandemic going, it's over 2 years, man. Okay? So I know what they wanted with the hard, fast rules, but they did the right thing by, if games can be played, play them. So here's what they also did. The number of players, okay, that could play. So last year, I think it was just like 7 players, period.
Yeah.
Well, this year, okay, they changed to 7 scholarship players. Because some coaches are sitting there like, 7 players. Well, what if 3 of the 7 are walk-ons? What are we going to do? So they changed it to 7 scholarship players. So if you got 7 scholarship players, you're going to have to, you have to play.
Yeah.
You're going to have to play. But we know, this is the unspoken, word, and I'm not going to be specific with anybody. Hey, man, certain teams only going to play if they got their whole team. It is what it is. Okay. Yeah. Right. I'm just gonna leave it at that. But certain teams they only gonna play if they got everybody. They ain't got everybody, they ain't playing. Okay. So, but hey, but hey, we hopefully we can play on Wednesday. We got our first home league game that we'll be able to play in. So hopefully, we'll be able to play. I know the kids are looking forward to it. And we just keep moving, man. Keep moving.
Man, the thing that concerns me, and I hope the numbers drop so we can get back to some point of normalcy, like closer to the beginning of the year. Because the thing that scares me is, what if this gets worse and you start seeing more and more? Like the NBA just canceled 16 games. Was it yesterday or today? And I was like, man, this is not a good sign. This is not a good sign at all. Mm-hmm. And is it going to force the NCAA to rewrite stuff on the fly? And, this year, Final Four is in New Orleans. We know that. Mm-hmm. I don't think they would change the date because everything is set in stone for New Orleans to host during that time. And it's just, man, Then the next question, let me ask this. If they start missing X amount of games and if this happens, you know it's going to be bonkers. What if they grant another year of COVID eligibility?
You ain't gonna do that. I don't see that.
You don't think so? You don't see it?
Nah.
Because if they did, recruiting would. Oh my gosh, recruiting would be. I wouldn't even know what to tell high school kids if that happened.
Yeah.
But
I mean, the high school kids are already in a tough spot with the
yeah.
portal, okay.
Yeah.
You know, last year threw a whole nother wrinkle, but we knew that going in last year. We knew that going into it. People were able to prepare for it. I just think moving forward now we just got to deal with it. It's gonna be a way of a way of life.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And we just got to work our way around it. And hey man, I ain't know, I didn't go to medical school. Okay. And you know what? I listen to, Mr. Fauci, Dr. Fauci, I listen to them guys. Okay. And he know a lot more than his team, a whole lot more than me. I ain't about to sit here and draw no conspiracy theory and all that. I'm just gonna follow, do what I gotta do, try to stay out the way as much as possible. And hopefully, I know it's a lot more people doing that, but we need more to do that as well, so we can be on the same page. I get it, people got certain beliefs and they got health concerns and all that. But look, man, let me tell you something. I'm 53 years old. Okay, so people in our age bracket, they gonna know this. Okay, dude, we ain't never went to school without having shots of vaccine. So I don't get a lot of people with this. All of a sudden everybody Dr. Fauci, man. I mean, come on. Like we've been doing this our whole life, And Damian Lillard, Dame said it in one of his interviews going into the season, and they were talking about the vaccine and what he thought about it. He was like, "Hey man, look, I've been getting shots all my life. I ain't, if that's what they say I need to do, that's what I'm gonna do. Keep moving forward."
Let me ask you this, man, and it's important for me to ask you this. Like when you're out there recruiting, and I'm just going to say whether it be high school, post grad, or JUCO, because we all know post grads are going to really start to pop up, and that's going to be a big wave in the future as well. Because when these high school kids can't get on, and if they can't go JUCO, or if they feel like they need another year to get stronger faster, they're going to go to post grad. Mm-hmm. But when you're out here looking, man, and I want to ask this, I want you to answer this because I want kids to see this. What are you looking for when you're looking for somebody to say, this is a guy that I would consider for East Carolina University?
Well, for one, the obvious. Okay, obviously you look at skill level, talent, and I would say this. It's when you recruit, right? Scoring, you got to recruit scoring. Like we ain't manufacturing scores in college. So guys that have offensive talent, that's recruiting. I mean, that's recruiting. You can teach defense, okay? And I get it. Guys are going to improve shooting and all that, but guys that have the knack and the natural ability to put the ball in the basket. Those guys, I mean, they're the ones that, they get, and I'm not talking about guys that shoot 30 shots to score 20 points.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not talking about them guys. Okay, there's a lot of them. But I'm talking about dudes that man, that dude can, he put it in the
bucket getters.
Just that and third. Yeah. Okay, so that for one, because you know what, you got a lot of there's a lot of really good coaches. Great coaches, at all in any of these different leagues. Okay, so I'm not just talking about Power 5 coaches. Okay, I'm not just talking about them. But you can have the nicest play and the nicest offense, but if you ain't got the guy that can, as I would say, shoot it in, then it don't look the same, right? So that's for one. Okay. Me personally, I like naturally competitive players. Because again, you either have it or you don't. You either have it or you don't. Okay. So I like guys that are naturally competitive. A guy might not necessarily be a great defensive player, but he at least got trial defense.
Yeah.
Okay. At least got, so though and I look for characteristics in guys. You can see certain things, right? Yeah, technical things we know we have to teach. That part that's goes without being said. I like guys that know how to play. Basketball IQ. Which is huge. Guys that just make the simple play. Guys open, just give them the ball. Pitch your head. A guy pitch your head on the break. Because it's just little things like that. Because it's easier to play 3-on-3 when you pitch the ball ahead and wait to get in the front court and then you 5-on-5. So just guys
that's more
can
IQ,
see the game.
So that's more IQ.
Guys that can see. Yeah. Yeah. Basketball IQ. Yeah. 100%. Guys just can see the next play, make the right play. Guys just make the right play all the time. No matter if it's there, if they want to kick guys off the ball screen and they don't tag the roll, just keep throwing it to the roll. If they keep tagging the roll, we're going to throw it to the safe guy. If that's what they're going to do, keep throwing it to the safe guy. Keep, whatever it may be. But I can't. Guys being competitive, I can't get past that. So if a guy ain't competitive, I don't like him. I'm gonna be honest.
So a competitor / motor, right?
Yeah. I mean, I just like guys. That just love to compete. Like again, that's hard. It's hard to teach, man. It's hard to teach. And I can, with the guy that's always gonna be competitive, like that's a guy that's he's never gonna be told he can't do something. He's always gonna be trying to get better. He's always gonna be trying to do what's best to win the game. He's gonna do whatever it's gonna take to win the game. You can't have enough players like that.
So let me ask you this, and I think those are excellent points. Once you get those type of guys there, I just need you to say this: how important? Okay, yeah, they know how to score, they're competitive, they got a great motor, but we know one of the most important things is they got to play D and they got to rebound, right?
Yeah,
and a lot of times you when they get to you, a lot of them don't understand that. I'm like, well, I had 20 or 15, coach, but your man just hit you off for 25. We got a problem.
So that's the other thing. So guys have certain things coming through the door, okay? And mostly all of these, a lot of these kids at our level, even, higher than us, and even a lot of guys that don't come to this level, okay? They still have really good high school careers, okay? And they were really good where they came from, okay?
Yep.
Some just got, overlooked or what have you, didn't take away from from them not being a good player. So, okay, so now the stakes are a little higher now, okay? Everybody that you're walking into that locker room when you step on campus the first time, all those guys, for the most part, did similar to what you did where they came from. For the most
all
part.
Region, okay. All state, yes.
And I heard Coach Seth Greenberg say this on the air the other day. And he was saying, like, your resume, your high school resume when you get on college campus doesn't mean anything. Doesn't mean anything. Okay. So now you have to, you got to be able in a game. You got to know how to. We used to say this. You got to know how to not give the game away before you can win it. Okay. And what's going to, as a young guy coming in, what's going to get you in the game? And everybody thinks, because I just said it, okay, well, what attracted you to the guy is that he could score the basketball. Okay, right. But then I'm contradicting myself to say that what's going to get you in the game when you get in college most of the time is you don't kill the team on defense.
Well,
and
I think your wording was perfect, but what's going to keep you in the game is playing D.
Yeah. And what happens is that's what's going to bring you to the table because, again, if you're giving the game away before you have a chance to win it, coach ain't playing you. He ain't playing you. And if any real team that you watch play, okay, whether it's Houston, whether it's Baylor, Villanova, Kansas, UCLA, Michigan State, Kentucky, any of them, Duke, well, all of them. Okay, guy that's supposed to rotate, that's why he in the game. If somebody get beat off the dribble and they always gonna rotate, the guy that don't rotate, he ain't gonna be in the game. He ain't playing. So, and that's what these young guys got to realize. A lot of these taller guys, I think me and you was talking about this earlier today off the record, but I'm gonna reiterate that. Okay, taller guys, 6'8", 6'9", and all that, and everybody want to be the next, everybody want to be the next Kevin Durant from the crib. Everybody want to be him. Okay, but here's what people fail to realize. He said, "Oh, I want to play the 3. I want to play the 3." Kevin played the 4 in high school. Never gripe and I don't want to say the B word, but never griped and whined about it, okay? Kevin's always been a basketball player. Always been a basketball player. Your skill level on offense, your coach will put you in the right spot. And that don't have no number on it. Yeah. Don't have no number on it.
That's a great
point.
A
lot of young players get caught up in that. But what I would tell, these taller guys, man, if you don't try to rebound, if you don't rebound the ball, these real coaches, man, they're not playing you. I'm telling you, they're not. And you know what? You better go somewhere where they have to play you just because they don't have nobody else. That's where you better go. Because if you go into some of these other places, I'm just gonna say it because anybody can look it up. Okay, Coach Boeheim said it. Okay, he had a guy, and the reporter asked him about a guy, and he said why he wasn't playing. He didn't play him because the guy didn't go after a couple of rebounds, and it's a young player, and he's talented. He's a good player. So I don't want to crush him because he's a good player. And hey, man, guys gotta learn. Guys gotta learn. And there's young players all over the country, man, that are not experiencing this instant success that was put in on their back when they came in. Whether it's it's the young player at UCLA that's really good. You got a kid at Gonzaga that's really good. And it's time for everybody. It's a young guy at Villanova. But they're all over the place. All young guys. We got 5 freshmen. And one of them, gets significant minutes. Okay, doesn't mean the other ones aren't going to be good. It's going to take them. It's going to take longer because they got some older guys playing in front of them that are really good players. And I've experienced that. My whole coaching career, where you get young guys come in, man, and they say, "Well, such and such ain't playing." Well, the other guy in front of them is just better right now, and there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. So,
but look at it like this. I mean, you just brought up a great point. Like, this guy might have been in your system for 3 years, and he knows the ins, outs, and the wrinkles of your program. And This young guy, yes, you can see he's going to be really good in the future, but he doesn't know. You brought up a great point. And the point is, a coach is going to put you in the right position to be successful. And with that being said, like that freshman doesn't understand sometimes what the coach is trying to do yet, and they're just trying to create off of ability. And sometimes when they think, sometimes they mess up when they think, because they're not following, what the coach is trying to teach them. Whereas that junior, he understands because he's watched hours of film. He's experienced games from the bench and experienced games from playing. So he has that type of advantage over you. But a younger kid is thinking, well, I'm all this and I'm all that. And I was this in high school, so it should translate to the next level. And as you know, sometimes that takes time. Yes, there are some exceptions where there's kids that come in and they kill it, straight out the boat, whether it be the older guy is injured or, this younger guy is just a special player. That it does happen. But generally, most of the time, as we can agree, it's those freshmen that come in. Yeah, you're good, but your time is going to be next year or the year after. Is that usually the case?
I'll say this, another important thing. Basketball aptitude, being able to learn and process quickly. Okay.
Yeah.
Not making the same mistake over and over again. And see, I think that's the thing that stunts the growth of early success for younger players, the ability to be able to, process quickly and get on to learning the next thing and not making this, have to go over the same thing over and over again. Okay. Those guys think quickly. And it might not equate to 15 a game or anything like that, but it gets you more minutes. It puts you in the mix. Okay.
Yeah.
He trusts you. Okay. He trusts to play you longer. Okay. And in key moments. Okay. In key moments. And earlier today, man, we're preparing for Tulane on a Wednesday. And Coach Hunter was at Georgia State.
Yes.
And when I was at Cincinnati, we played them in the NCAA tournament in Nashville in the first round. And just going back, just watching the game and just seeing some of the guys that we had on that team. And so one of the guys I'm about to talk about is from your state, Trey Scott. From South Georgia.
Yeah.
And Trey didn't play very much, very little. We got Gary Clark and Kyle Washington. Gary ended up, he's playing in the NBA, and Kyle right now actually is a GA at University of Cincinnati right now.
Okay.
Well, Kyle could be overseas if he wanted to. He wanted to get into coaching. So he's playing behind those guys, and Trey redshirt as a freshman. Okay, had Gary playing in front of him, and Trey just less than 10 days ago signed a 10-day contract with the Cleveland Cavaliers.
That's big.
Yeah. I mean, I texted him the night before, before he getting ready to play his first game in Boston. And Trey ended up being first team all league, and then after we left. But he ended up making first team all league, and he was the second in votes for player of the year of the league. So if you'd have told me, the film that I'm looking at today, that guy Trey Scott,
who didn't play,
ended up being that player, who wasn't playing much. But see, the thing about Trey always had a great attitude. He came to work every day. He did everything, Coach Cronin was he tried everything that Coach wanted him to do. Okay. Never, no talk back, no whining, complaining, Trey is one of them guys that whatever he set out to do, we all as a staff have said this, whatever he was going to do, he going to be successful. Great family. His parents are terrific. He got two twin sisters that playing, they're playing at UC right now. But he got great family, and his parents, they're terrific, man. So they did a great job with him. So I'm happy for him. You know, I'm like, you know, I'm happy for him because he did it. He the one to put in the work. So it's stories like that, you know, and you know, a lot of coaches have, you know, go on have stories about certain guys, but you know, that one just resonated just because, you know, over a week ago he signed a 10-day contract to playing in the NBA, which is huge. You know, which is huge.
You know, those. I wish we could teach that type of attitude and work ethic, but you know, unfortunately, you know, those guys don't come along. I mean, it happens, sure, but think how much easier your job would be if you had 10 of those guys. You know what I mean?
You know what? I'm gonna say this too. That's something I was just thinking about.
Okay.
And this is something I feel for players, young players. These kids got so much pressure on them coming into college. Okay,
that's true.
That's put on them from whether it's, you know, dad that, hey man, everything that he didn't do, now, you know, now Bobby Ray's supposed to be able to do that, right?
Yeah.
Well, come on, Dad. Let him run his own race. You know, maybe you should have did something different. Let him do his, you know, let him do him. So now the kid got all this pressure on him. Okay, whether it's the dad, whether it's Uncle Smitty, whether it's, whoever trying to help him get him in the age, whoever it is, man.
Yeah.
You got to get us out of here and all that. So then, as soon as the kid don't average 15 a game, or you know he don't make, you know, all conference, or he not getting all the shots and he not playing, you know, 30 minutes a game. Now they making the kid feel like, you know, especially with, you know, we dealing with this mental health. I'm gonna tell you, I get part of it now. It's part of it. Whether it's basketball, whether it's football. Okay, them are the two main sports.
Yeah.
You know, the two. And I'm talking about, you know, from where we from. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the African American community.
Definitely.
I can't speak for everybody else. Okay. But I'm telling you, in our community, there's a lot of pressure on these young kids to produce and be able to, you know, carry the family out of wherever they at. Okay.
Yeah.
And it might not happen in year one. It might not happen in year two. Okay. So and then you got some. I'm not going. It might not happen, right? It might not happen. So that's why. Okay, when you go to college, and I tell these young brothers, man, okay, better earn your daggone degree. See, because here's the thing. Excuse me, I keep it real. You either gonna use the system or the system gonna use you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and I get it. People talking about the players make all this money for the schools and all that, and you know, and you know, the players now, you know, the student athletes. I wish we were a little smarter. Okay, we was asked for a piece of the pie, but you know what? This new age of young people, just in general, they're more progressive than we were. Okay, and you know, the social media and all that has something to, you know, the media platform that has something to do with it now. But hey, big ups to them. But you still can't lose, you know, the most important thing. Go to college and get your education. They can't take that from you. But now you get in there and you trick it off. Okay, guess what's going to happen? They're going to end up using you for whatever you're going to give them. Okay,
and when your time is up,
they'll
goodbye.
just goodbye. Exactly. And you know what? That ain't the school's fault. That ain't the coach's fault. Okay, that ain't their fault. That ain't fault. To me, the player, the student athlete, drove the situation in that direction, and that's what it ended up playing out to be. And it happens a lot. You know, it happens a lot. I don't know if people talk about it, but I'm just telling you, it happens a lot, more than what you would think. And it ain't the coach's fault all the time. Now, we ain't always right. I ain't gonna sit up there and say we always right too. I mean, Yeah, some guys probably should have played more. You know, we should have did this. I mean, we ain't always right. So I ain't about to, say that either. But I'm just gonna tell you, you know, there's no coach that don't want to win. Okay.
Absolutely.
And that's the thing. So when it comes to like the part on getting your degree and the resource and all that you have access to, it's your fault that you don't go after it. Because guess what? Everybody got rules. Okay. If you don't go to study hall, you got to get up and run the next morning or whatever the punishment is, and then and I know this happens. So when everybody asks how you doing, you complain it, to your parents or your uncle or your mentor, whoever it is. Okay, and then he calling the assistant coaches. We get them called. Okay, why such and such doing this and why such and such doing that? Well, he should have went to study hall when he was supposed to. He should have did this. Well, man, he was only 5 minutes late. Well, let me ask you something. Does ESPN start the game 5 minutes late when the other team ain't there? No, everybody's on time. Everybody's on time. Yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm. But we're trying to teach young people, okay, try not to just use them. But again, when when you become defiant to authority, and authority is whoever your coaches are, okay? When you come defiant to them, or whether it's your academic advisor, or it could be the strength coach, or or the trainer, whoever it is, okay? Whoever it is, because that's all part of being responsible, man. That's all part of being responsible. And I would say this: everybody wants discipline, because parents are always going to be parents, okay? Everybody wants discipline until it's their child. Everybody wants discipline until it's their child. When it's administered by somebody else. Then when it's them, they do whatever they want. But when it's somebody else got to administer discipline, it's fine until it's your kid, until it's something that maybe affect them, where it's taken away for something where I need them to be playing. Well, he ain't did such and such to play right now. So, but I'm not saying all, because some, I've been around some days, say, hey, coach, hey, you got it. He ain't doing that. That's on him. But I just think our community today, man, parents stepping way too much, man. Way too much. And that's why young people, when it comes to fighting through any kind of adversity, that's why they crack and crumble.
Yeah. They struggle.
That's why they crack and crumble. See, and I don't want, I want to be the one that, is like, hey, man, mental health ain't, he don't understand mental health and this, that, and the third. And I'm sympathetic to all that. Heck, man, I wonder what I had when I came up. I wonder, it's a lot of stuff that bothered me, But I don't run back and tell, I ain't run back and tell mommy and daddy everything. Some stuff, man, you gotta figure out on your own, man. That's how you grow. That's how you grow. We don't. It's our age. It's our age group, our generation. I think that's we don't parent our kids today the way our parents did with us. I just think things were way. Now I get it, we're trying to make lives easy on our young kids because we don't want them to go through the same thing we did. Okay, that's part of that. But then the other part of it is too, there's some merit to having to go through some things on your own and figure it out.
That's golden right there. Golden. That figuring out, yes, we want that path to be easier, but in the same sense, you have to figure something out, because the day we're no longer here and you're not prepared to figure that out,
exactly,
you're gonna struggle. You're gonna struggle mightily. Then what?
Yeah. Nobody cares.
Yeah, exactly. Now, then
nobody cares.
Mental health, because then You weren't
Yeah.
prepared to handle that. Now you're breaking down because you've never faced that adversity, or you've been programmed for that adversity to be a little smoother. But when that person isn't there to smooth it over, and it really gets rocky, you know what I'm saying? Great example is that coach. A lot of times we have a high school coach that is, he's the mentor, he's the dad, he's a little bit of everything. But as you know, when you get to that D1 or major college level, D1, D2, because there's some NAIA coaches that get down hard and they jump on you and you're not accustomed to that. Do you break down, or do you, like you said, do you figure it out on your own and handle it on your shoulders? Because if not, you're going to be home by Thanksgiving.
Yeah. I mean, I had one of them long, tough roads, man. I did a post-grad year, the military school, had never done it before. I didn't really have a high school career that, merit of anything. So I had to went post-grad after high school, the year. Then I went JUCO. And then I went to Pikeville College, NAIA school in Kentucky. And the crazy thing about that is I went there with my junior college roommate. So he got me to go there. And I signed the paper sight unseen.
Oh,
He lasted. So how about this one? He lasted 6 months, and I was there 3 years.
Wow.
He lasted one semester.
Man.
So I had a hard road. Yeah. And you know what? It wasn't nothing to do, but I was just there to, play basketball and get my degree. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
I got you. But
I met my wife right before I went there. I met my wife right before I went to Pikeville. We've known each other our whole adult life. Okay. She came when I graduated. She came down with my parents for graduation.
Okay.
Yeah, we was actually just talking about that a couple of days ago. So that's why I put that up.
Man, and that's why I bring guys like you on here, man, because a lot of times, sometimes kids don't get this, and I'll save this and play this. I'll play this for our AAU team. I'll play this for my son. I'll play this for anybody that's willing to listen, because, sometimes when I say it, or when, my partner in crime says it, it's kind of discounted. But, when you guys said, and it's actually us having a conversation, they're like, oh man, I'm like, man, I tried to tell you, it's not a game out here. And it's getting to the point, we had these conversations 100 times over, especially for these high school kids. Some of the parents think their baby's going D1. We have plenty of conversations, and I'll tell you 100 times over, I'm not going to send a kid to you unless I am sure. I'm not even going to call you unless I'm like, hey, like, even, we have these conversations. Like, there's kids that come to you and I'm like, I don't know about him. Is he ready yet? And you'll give it to me straight and be like, hey, he's not, where he needs to be, but it's going to take a year, getting stronger, learning the system, whatever the case may be. But some parents are thinking, oh, my baby's going to go there and turn it out at East Carolina. And I don't pull no punches with that. I'm like, no, he's not. I'm like, he may have a great career, but I just don't want you to think he's going to go up there and average 15 and 6 assists or right away. You have to understand, there's JUCO kids that may be in front of him. There are 3-year kids that are in front of him. There are graduate transfers now that are in front of him. Your baby's going to have to fight, and he's going to face some tough times.
Yeah. Like one of our freshmen. Okay, he's from South Carolina, Aiken, South Carolina. RJ Felt. Okay, he's the only freshman on our team that gets,
minutes.
He gonna get in every game. Okay, as long as he's healthy, he's gonna get in every game. And The reason being, of course, he's athletic, he's tough, he got a strong frame, but he plays so hard. Yeah, he gonna make mistakes because he's young. Okay, he just don't, he ain't supposed to know yet, right? But he tries to play defense, and he plays really hard. Okay.
Okay.
I mean, it gets him in the mix. It gets him in the mix. And the fact that he can guard multiple positions. Okay. And even though he's a guard, a big guard, okay, if we have to have, and we've had to talk about this because of the COVID thing, whereas we were gonna go into the game, he was gonna have to be like an emergency option at point guard. So he can handle the ball good enough. You ain't just gonna take it from him. So we can create a small package for him that he can learn, because with him, he don't need to be learning a whole lot of different new things and get confused. But in this case, we give him a few things he can work with and be able to play some time there. And then the other thing is, which we're gonna have to deal with on Wednesday, we got 3 front court guys that's gonna be out. Okay, that ain't playing. Okay. So, but again, because he's athletic and he's tough and he can guard people, you can play him small ball forward. He just be the fourth guard. He just be the biggest guard out there. Okay. So he'll just have to guard a bigger forward on defense. But he's put himself in that position though. So he's got versatility on the side. Okay.
Yeah.
So, he's a guy that you can plug and play. You can plug and play. And I love his. He's a really nice kid. He's trying. Okay. Yeah, he don't do everything right. He might think, hey, I can't do nothing right at times. All young guys gonna get to that point. But I'm saying, hey man, like you in the mix, you playing. So that's I'd rather be. If I was you, I'd rather be dealing with that than the guy who don't play at all. He don't know. He don't have it. He trying to get where you at. So and the young guys that you see playing wherever they are, it's a reason that the coach got them out there. Aside from them being special players, this guy, RJ is he's gonna have a really good college career. And all the young guys will too. Just their time.
And I was just going to say that I believe the ones that are on the bench are going to have great careers. It's just
because they have them. Because here's the thing: everybody don't see them practice every day. They have their moments in practice. They do. They do. They have their moments.
They figuring it out, like you said. They're figuring it out.
Yeah, they're figuring it out. They'll get there. You just got to stick with it. See, you need more of them that's going to stick with it. You need more of them to be like Trey Scott, who we had that was a red shirt guy who worked his way all the way up. Nasir Brooks was another one that we had at Cincinnati was like that. He wasn't a red shirt guy, but, he had guys playing in front of him and worked his way, all the way through. Brandon Slater, that's at Villanova, he's another one because he's from where I'm from. So I've known him since he was a freshman in high school. And to see him go to Villanova, and it didn't come off right away, but now he's playing 30 minutes a game.
But Coach, here's the thing though. One of the big things is how many people are in these kids' ears. Like you said, they might have been the man, and then they come back for the summer in summer league, and they may tear it up in summer league there. And they said, man, I don't know what Coach Jackson thinking at ECU, man. You should be getting at least 15 minutes a game. I talked to my man at this school, and he said, if you come, you play right away. How many times have we heard that?
Yeah, man. You hear so much, man. And they do it. They get you in the door, and then they get you there. And that's why I don't never. I've never promised anybody, say, hey, man, I promise you the opportunity. Okay, you'll get an opportunity. I ain't never promised nobody that, man. Okay.
Yeah.
But certain dudes, they gonna play. You ain't gonna tell them that, but they gonna play.
Yeah.
Right? Certain guys like that. but there are more that
More often
you
than
you get
not.
what you
Yeah.
earn, man. You get what you earn. I think that's the motto that I've always I've tried to live by. And preaching to people. You get what you earn, man. You get what you earn. You get what you earn. You get what you earn.
And that's the fair recruiting pitch right there. You get what you earn. Now, of course, we get there are some special players, and we've talked about some of those special players. Like, yeah, if you get him, yeah, he's probably going to play right away. But even with then, you
Yeah.
still have to be careful of promising that type of kid the moon, because it's going to be an adjustment period for them as well.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
Everybody has a learning curve.
exactly.
Everybody has the adjustment period, the learning curve. Everybody has. Okay. Even the great ones do. Even the great ones do. Okay.
Yeah, you
Um,
hit that right on the
you know,
head.
I work with a guy at University of Massachusetts, Derek Kellogg, and we call him DK. But Coach Kellogg was coming from Memphis. Okay.
Hmm.
And he just came from coaching Derrick Rose. And so at my time being at UMass, I got a chance to be around Coach Kyle and his staff. I've known Bruiser Flint, um, Tony Barbie. They kind of like their whole crew, right?
Yeah.
Uh, so and Coach Kyle, they were talking about like Derrick Rose, like when he first came in, they had a guy named Andre Allen. And Andre, people that know him, he was from Memphis, local kid. He was a tough pit bull, okay?
Hmm.
And he had a rep come out of high school. Now we know how special, Derrick, D Rose was in high school coming in. But like for that first kind of like, they were saying for their first, couple of months, Dre was getting the best of that. But Derek always lived in the gym, you know, and we not discounting his talent, but that light bulb just came off, just clicked on one day, and then it was no turning back, right? And then they had no shot, you know, but again, even the learning curve he had to go through, as a great player as he was, he had to figure it out. It ain't take long. That's what I'm saying. For them guys like him, it don't take long. A couple of months, and and that's it. And it's a wrap, right? Um, so we've been around guys like that. You've been around some, it take them a little bit longer, but hey, man, it sounds corny. Trust the process. Sounds corny. Trust the process, man.
Yeah.
You know, got to be in love. We need more people that the grind and the journey, that we embrace that part of it. And everybody's always looking at the end of the end of
The
it.
end result.
The
Yes.
end. Yeah, result driven. If you do certain things right, systematically, step by step, consistently, over and over again, you know, one foot forward, the other foot forward. At some point, the results are going to take care of themselves. They are. I mean, I know it sounds boring, it sounds corny. Nobody wants to hear that, but those small steps along the way, those they seem ordinary, um, but they pay off in the end. They pay off in the end.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Man, me and you could rap all day, like when we was down in Florida, man, because, some of our philosophies, they matched. And then, we around the same age. So, we come from a certain style and a certain belief as well, man. And, that's why when we hit it off, when we first start talking, just talking about, the kids and them being different, and, what expectations is. And even when we were watching kids down in Florida, man, we saw certain guys, and we may not agree on even every player, because that's why I like to hear your perspective. You'd be like, I don't know about, I'm like, man, I see this. And you'd be like, okay, I see what you're talking about. And then you may say vice versa. And at first I'm like, nah, man, I'm not feeling him, or, but it's us talking. And I'm like, well, I don't see that for this reason. And you'd be like, okay, I see it for this reason. And I say, you know what? I didn't think about that. And it's having that open mind to take your view, you know what I'm saying, and not being a dominant guy saying my view is correct. You don't know what you're talking about. You know what I mean? Because every time we talk and we have these conversations, you may say something. I'm like, man, okay. Or I could be like, I see what you're saying, but I believe from a philosophy standpoint, this is why. And it's not to say you're wrong and I'm right and vice versa. It's just always challenging each other to say, man, I like that. Or, I'm like, man, I don't like that for this reason. You'd be like, well, this is the reason why we do X, Y, and Z. And, I always enjoy those type of conversations, even from that to kids' playing style to why this kid isn't a good fit or why they are a good fit. Man, those conversations could go on for hours. And, man, even when we preach this to our kids, because, man, I'll probably have you zoom in with the kids during AAU season, man, so they can understand what this is. Parents, too, man, because some of these parents, I'll be like, listen, you're going to be sadly mistaken what your expectation is versus reality. My kid is the D1. No, your kid is probably going to go D3. So when they hear from us, oh, you're being kind of harsh, coach. No, I'm telling you the truth. And it's almost to the point where sometimes you'll be like, coach, do me a solid. Here's an evaluation of the kid. Give me an evaluation back as to say why, because they're discounting what you're saying, like you're not putting in that work, but you're also saying, I can't send this kid to this man because he's nowhere near his expectation. So I'm supposed to be the person to vet out. If I call you, you're trusting my word to say, okay, I know him and he's bringing me something of quality, not whereas you getting probably 70, 80 emails every day with the quote unquote, I got a guy. You know what I'm saying? And you're like, yeah, everybody got a guy. And then when you take a look, the first 10 seconds, you delete. And it's not to be rude, but they're just not ready for that level. And, there's nothing wrong with going D2. There's nothing wrong with going NAI. There's nothing wrong with going D3. Yeah. Like you just said earlier, don't let the system use you. Use the system. But if you're trying to use the system, I'm going D1 or bust. All right. Or coach, I just need somebody to look at me. Go ahead.
Right. No, what I was going to say is a lot of times, and I try to look at it because I've been on both sides of it. So that's why I don't take, the emails and the calls, it don't bother me as much because I've been on the other side. I've been a high school coach. I've been been the so-called workout person, coaching AAU. And there are a lot of there are a lot of guys on our side that haven't done that. Okay. Yeah. There are a lot that been on both sides of it too. But I've been on unofficial visits. I've been, where all the coaches come into the gym and talking, to the players, and you trying to help them out. I get it, man. I get it. Yeah. Because I've been there. I've seen that. So now I'm on the other side. I just set in home visits, on the other side as a high school coach. And now I'm the one, on the other side going in. So I've seen both sides, and I get it. But you still got to do you still got to do your job. You still got to do your due diligence. So I do see it both ways, and I don't, I love the guys trying to help their players, but at the same token, I got my opinion
realistically too. Trying to help.
Yeah. And you know what? And the system is different now. Yeah. I think that this portal has really changed things. And if you're a high school guy, and if you want to have And I'm not counting top 50, top 100 guys, because they're gonna be okay no matter what, right?
Yeah.
They're gonna be okay no matter what. But I'm talking about everybody else, okay?
Yeah.
But here's the thing though, there are guys that aren't top 100 guys, and I told them they're top 100 guys. But the ratings really don't matter, okay? I'm just using that as a measuring stick. So they're gonna be okay no matter what. And if you're a high school guy, and if you want to have full control of your options, the most control you're gonna have is when you sign early. When you sign late, you ain't got that same control, because now you're in a different pool. You're in a pool where all these Division I guys is getting ready to put their name in the portal, okay? You know, here in a few months, or already have, okay? The best junior college players in the country, okay? And here's the other thing that's becoming a phenomenon: the high level Division II, Division III guys that are transferring up.
The ones that are all
I've been following it. It's gotten bigger and bigger every year. Okay, that's the new thing. That's the new thing. So now, as a high school guy, you're in the pool with all them players. Okay, you don't have the same control over your decision now.
That's a great point right there. That's a
and it's gonna take a while for them people to see it. But see, this is the first cycle. We're now going through the first full cycle of the all season, the spring leading into it, the summer, and now coming through full circle. So now this group is really, and then you had the kids getting there every year, these incoming freshmen, but now these freshmen going to hit, this 22 class, they don't necessarily have to deal with that, because that part's over with. But they still do, because let's say a young guy, a guy who was a freshman, this guy added another year onto his college career. See, we just thinking of just seniors just getting an extra year and staying. No, them younger guys still got an extra year too. So you still got to deal with them. They taking away scholarship.
But there's one other thing, man, I want to mention. And man, this is so important. Man, think about how many kids went in the portal and went unsigned, unclaimed.
And weren't claimed, right?
Yeah. It was what? I think last year it was like 800 something. 800 kids went in the portal and didn't have a home.
Yeah, didn't get picked up.
Yeah.
So, and that's another thing. Guys put their name in the portal. And see, here's what the portal, there are some good things to the portal, okay? And what the portal will do, it'll humble you. Because now you get the dudes be thinking, okay, you want to see how good you really are? Put your name in that freaking portal, okay? And we'll see what happens. Obviously, some guys, have a market value, that's a certain level. But like you said, what was the market value of the 700 or 800 players that's still sitting there with nowhere to go?
So let me ask you this. So when a player from East Carolina, and I won't even single out East Carolina, just any program, when a kid puts their name in the portal, what's the likeliness of them coming back to ECU and saying, we welcome you back with open arms? Y'all moving on, right?
Yeah, I mean, but you know what? It depends on who it is, too.
Well, yes, of course. If he's all conference, he can come back home, Yeah. But in general,
but you know what? I will say this. The guys that we did have leave last year and move on, and Coach Dooley was great about this with our team. If anybody was going to leave, we said, look, give us, schools will help you. Now you got to be realistic. You can't be getting
Kentucky
5
and
minutes of
Duke.
game here, and all of a sudden, and you got Kentucky and Duke on your list. So you can't do no crap like that, right? So, but so we would help our guys move on. It wasn't no ill will or anything.
That's good, man.
So if there would be any dissension, that's gonna be on the player moving out. It ain't gonna be on Iron. Like he ain't handling like that. He ain't handling like that at all. Like them guys that was that were leaving. Heck, man, you got a lot of coaches that when you put your name on the portal, you can't use the facility and all that. Hey man, them dudes still came in, and they were able to use the practice gym. I mean, he ain't he ain't do it like that.
That's a good look right there. That's a great
because I done heard stories about kid want to leave and they shut your ID card, they shut your school ID off and change the code, you can't get in, and all that. You got to go get shots up. You got to go to the rec center, with the general population. So we didn't do it like that. So we tried to help on the way.
Beautiful campus, man. I've been to East Carolina before. East Carolina is now it's a hump from Raleigh, just from Raleigh in itself. But man, you guys got
hour and a half. Hour and a half from Raleigh. We do. We got a beautiful. It's a true college town feel. We're close to the beach.
Yeah. You are.
People that like the water. I mean, we're 2 hours from the beach. Weather here for the most part is terrific.
Pretty straight, yeah.
It was cold. It was cold today. But I mean, dude, man, for the last like 5 days since after Christmas, a week after Christmas, man, it's been like 60 degrees to 75 degrees. Yeah. Heck, it was 75 yesterday. Dang. They ain't 75 today. Because they had a cold front coming in through the whole East Coast. But, and the people here in Greenville, man, they love their Pirates, man. They do. They love their Pirates.
So let me ask you this: academically, what do you need to get into East Carolina? Great. Is there a certain
well, yeah, no. I just think here, I mean, if a kid got the essentials to qualify, you get them in for the most part. Okay. Now, I will say this. Now, we have say you're at the minimum.
Yeah.
Now you might have to go through a different admissions process where they have one that it's called a special talent. So now you got to go through a presentation and all that. Excuse me. To the admissions board for them to get in. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, and then I think that after that, then it ain't easy. Schoolwork. You got to do your schoolwork. You got to do your schoolwork. But we got terrific academic support, man. Right next to our building where our offices in the arena is, our athletic, the academics is right behind us, and they got a over there, with the resources to help you, whether it's any tutoring that you need, one-on-one study, study rooms, you got all that, right here, and
let me ask this one question as well, and I've noticed this with some kids coming through as well. Do you guys have the resources? Because I see a lot of kids, they may be okay with academics, but they struggle with test taking. Do you have the resources to help them with those test taking? I don't even know what to call it.
So
whatever.
Yeah. So you get a lot of and we all have some sort of this. Okay, everybody has some sort of. It's probably thousands of different learning disabilities, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So if you have what they call, you have an IEP, okay, you get automatically untimed tests anyway, okay.
Mm-hmm.
But then just for people in general, so say you don't have an IEP, just somebody, just you know, you don't have a, you don't have a, and you struggle, with tests. So, that's a strategy that, with our academic people to the academic advisor, they try to, you develop a strategy to
Okay.
go in it, and it's done through your study groups, um, your your study prep for your exam. They do all that, so they kind of do
Okay.
that to help you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, but now you gotta, but see, part of it is you gotta let them know. Say, well, my issue is this, or my issue is that. Or sometimes they can see it, So I think it's a
Okay.
mutual thing that and that's why you gotta talk to your advisor, talk to your tutors, about whatever. Because here's the thing: if you don't voice what your struggle is, or whatever you're having a problem with, or whatever you need help with, then how's somebody else going to know? So,
Absolutely.
some of you voice it, then they know, okay, we need to help you with this, and then you can get, whatever help you need, you can get it here. You will get it
Gotcha.
here. But again, that's what we talk about. You got to use the system. Don't let
Yeah.
the system use you.
Absolutely.
See?
Absolutely. I like that, man. I like that, man. And that's why I was so adamant. Of course I had to be patient because y'all in season, man. And that's why, I wanted to bring you on the show so you can drop those type of nuggets, not just on me, but for, this is knowledge for parents. This is knowledge for other coaches. This is knowledge for kids to say, hey, man, listen to what Coach Jackson is saying, man. Number one, I don't care what university you're going to go to, you're going to struggle in some form or fashion, whether it be academically, athletically, whatever the case may be.
Could be
And,
socially. It could be socially.
Yeah, so yeah, socially too.
It could be socially. Because our school in general. So think about this. Outside, and I'm talking about our community right now. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Outside of HBCUs, when you go to college, it ain't gonna be a lot of us.
5 to
Okay,
6%.
it ain't gonna be a lot of us.
Yep.
So here, okay, we got 29,000 students. Okay, our African American student population is in the neighborhood of anywhere from 23 to 25%.
That's a
like
lot
unheard of,
for
dude.
yeah.
Dude,
That's
like top 10 in the country.
Yes. You guys in UAB
it's like top
probably
10 in the country.
Yeah.
I mean, that's and so if anybody would I don't know if anybody whoever was listening, but I grew up in Prince George's County, Temple Hills, Maryland, which is outside of the Washington D.C. area. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
When you grow up in Prince George's County, where we grew up at, you don't live in normal reality. And when I say that, okay, when you in PG County, you see a lot of people, okay, a lot of African Americans that are successful, that have 3-car garages, luxury cars, and they ain't entertainers and professional athletes. They go to work every day. Okay.
Yep.
The police chief is black. The fire chief is black. The superintendent of schools is black. Okay.
Yeah.
The head of athletics in Prince George's County is black. So all that is us. Now, when you leave outside of PG County, you don't see, you're in a culture shock. Because for us, that ain't reality. We ain't grow up that way.
Yeah.
We ain't grow up that way. Dude, in my high school, it might have been 15 white people. Period.
Yeah.
And that's including people that worked there. So now you go out in the real world, it don't look like that.
Yeah.
So, and I would say this: Prince George's County is the most unique place of anywhere in the whole country. Ain't nowhere else like that. Now I will say this: the ATL Y'all City, because it's the metropolitan city. Yeah, I get it, but like that little small area we grew up in,
Yeah.
it ain't no other place like it, man.
Everybody. Well, I'm from Pittsburgh, so we knew about Prince George's County, and plus,
Yeah,
some of my
people know about it. Yeah.
Yeah, we lived in my people lived in Columbia, so they knew. Everybody would rave about PG County, and before I moved, like back when we were in high school, like PG was like the Atlanta to us. You know what I mean? Because of what you said, you know what I'm saying? And that's why a lot of people.
My best friend I grew up with lives in Atlanta right now. He lived, Daryl Darby, my best friend I grew up with. Love that dude, man. Been knowing each other since the second grade. Okay. He lived down there. He been living down there, ever since, practically his whole adult life, man.
Okay.
And he loves it there, but he still comes back.
Of course, definitely.
Yeah.
And, man, it's just one of those things, man. Like you said, like when I went to school and when I got to Toledo, it was 33,000, but it was 6%. You get what I'm saying? You're like, whoo, wait a minute. What happened?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? But you adjust. I mean, you adjust, and that's really the real world. You know what I mean? So,
and that's why I say I'm gonna live by that motto. Use the system. Don't let the system use you. I'm saying I can't convey that message enough, especially for our brethren. I can't.
Yeah.
But now here's the thing though. When it don't work out though, you can't always play the race card.
Oh,
you can't. When it don't work out, you can't always play the race card.
That's a whole other podcast in itself, right there, man. Absolutely, man. Because when you've
I don't want just
opportunities, you've been afforded those opportunities. Yeah, you can't. When you try and pull that, then I got to look at you funny, because you've had ample opportunity. But then you want to sit here and play the victim and say, I didn't know. Where people have been pressing you to say, hey, try this, do this, you need to do this. Oh, coach, I'm going to do it. I'm going to get to it. And them 4 years, them 5 years run by. Well, it's over, bro. And now you trying to, last minute, make a change.
And I'll say this, man. The minute, the second you can't produce, then you don't see. People might deal with you, because you can produce something for them, right?
Yeah.
And it's just like professional players. They might have a lot of baggage, whatever. Okay, but the second you start tailing off, they ain't putting up with it no more. You ain't good enough to put up with it, right? You history. So to have high character, be responsible, be hardworking, trustworthy. When you're that kind of person, you're gonna survive no matter what.
Absolutely.
You're gonna survive no matter what. And here's the other thing: people are always gonna be willing to help you.
Yeah.
That's my thing. That's my thing with these young guys, man. These people are doing everything they can to try and help you. Okay, use it. Use it to your advantage. We might preach being unselfish on the court and in team sports, but when it comes to stuff like that, you got to be selfish, because ain't nobody else gonna give it to you. You got to take it. And it's there for the taking. You gotta embrace it, man. You gotta really want it. You gotta really want it.
Absolutely. Hey, man, listen, brother. I enjoy. From the time we first connected, man. This podcast is.
Oh yeah, man.
It's an example of our relationship, man. You one of them guys that I speak 100 times highly of, man. And what you doing up there in East Carolina, man. I mean, those kids don't understand how fortunate they are to have you and the type of coaching staff. Because I met a good portion of them, except for the head coach. Haven't met the head coach yet, but I've been on campus. I love the campus. That's why I was like, oh, this campus is the move here. I was like, this is nice. It kind of reminded me.
Anytime you want to come back, anytime you want to come through, man, just let me know. You're always welcome. Okay.
Definitely, man. I appreciate that, man. Speaking of that, I know you're going to be down here for either high school live period or team camp or live period, one or the other. When you do come, man, just let me know, man. You already know.
Hey, I was listening to while I was waiting to come on. I was listening to you and Coach Welsh,
Coach
right?
Ward. Yeah.
Yeah, I was listening to Coach Roy. His last name is Welsh, right?
Yeah, Welsh.
What's his last name? Yeah,
Welsh.
okay, Coach Welsh. Yeah, so I'm listening. Yep. So I'm listening, to stuff y'all was talking about, and actually was there for the second of the
Team
high
camps.
school events, and team camp.
Yeah.
You talking about Dr. Phillips was there. I think they were there the first one. They weren't there the second one.
Yeah, they were there the first one. Yeah.
Yeah. Now I know about the guys from Centerville.
Centerville, yeah, because you were at UC. Yeah.
Yeah. So his son actually committed to Indiana, I think.
Okay.
But
Hey,
Brooke
man,
Cups is the head coach.
Okay.
No, he got yeah. He's had so his son, that's who probably everybody was there watching, okay? Because they all were recruiting him, whether it was Ohio State, Xavier,
You talking about the
Cincinnati.
6'8" kid, right? The 6'7", 6'8" kid?
No, I'm talking about the point guard.
Listen, there was like 4 or 5 kids that were the deal.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, they got multiple guys, but I'm saying his son, he's a young guy too. He's a 23.
Okay.
Yeah, you're talking about the 6'8" kid. Is that the kid Tom House? The kid that's going to Florida State.
That's it.
Tom House. He's going to Florida State. Yeah, a lot of people watching him. Yeah.
Okay.
But he runs a terrific program. Got a lot of respect for him. So when you were talking about them,
like I said, I was commentating that game, and I was like, look, so with me going to Toledo, I know my roommate was from Dayton. I was texting them like, hey man, you didn't tell me about this team. I was like, this team is the deal right here. And excellently coached, excellent coaching. He's been
a college coach himself. Yeah, he's been involved in college. Yeah, and he runs the practice. A lot like it. The school. Centerville's it's in a nice. It's in a nice.
Yeah, it's in the suburbs. Yeah. We might have lost Coach for a quick second. That might be his connection, and that's fine. That's no big problem. We were going to wrap it up anyway. As you can see, me and Coach Jackson, I scream to my kids, "You back? You there?"
Yeah, I'm trying. Hold up. I'm still here. Hold up.
Okay.
Can you see me?
Yeah, I can see you. I can see you.
Okay, I don't know what I'm good. My bad.
Yeah, you're good. I can see you.
You can hear me now? Okay.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. Yeah.
And,
but like I said, the school is in a nice area and all that. They do a good job.
Yeah. I'm thoroughly impressed with them. But one of the things I loved about team camp, like you were saying, like we had those teams coming in from out of state that were really good. And, GHSA did a phenomenal job bringing teams like
they did, man.
Yeah, they were doing it. And
that thing was organized too, man. That thing was organized,
man. Think about it. When Centerville played, and I tell people that there was probably at least 100 coaches watching that game when Centerville played.
Yeah.
And it's just one of those things. I was like, man, commentating, I was like, these guys came to play. They are the real deal. I was thoroughly impressed with them. But I'm actually looking forward to who they bring this year for team camp. And like I was telling Coach Welch, I'm going to split my time this year. So I'm going to be at GHSA, but I'm also going to be at the Texas one because all you guys were saying they were the best two camps. So I want to see how Texas camp looks compared to Georgia. So I'm gonna get out there, tweet out.
I'm gonna say this too. Now the Maryland Live that they had over there at the Matham, man, that was high level. That was high level.
Now that one. So it's funny you mentioned that. But it was smaller, right? It was like probably about 20, 25 teams.
Yeah. So it's not, yeah. But I will say this, though, but you had the best teams, though. You had the best teams. So you had the best teams out of Baltimore.
And you had some of the
Catholic
teams.
The DC Catholic League teams.
Yeah.
You had some, public schools in it. So.
Well, absolutely. If you're saying – even if it was 20, I know those teams, like when you start talking the Dunbars, the Lake Cliftons.
Now, here's the other thing here's the other thing. So DC and Maryland, and they got to change this, man. So the teams in Washington, DC couldn't play in Maryland Live. So like Gonzaga, St. John's, and the DC public schools, they couldn't play in that. Because of whatever the rules are. Man, makes no sense. So so DC, but it's rule, and it's something they got to change. So it was a Maryland Live and it was a DC Live. So only the DC teams could play in that. So the high school period, they were split up. Then the second high school period, Gonzaga and St. John's, they had Philly to play in Philly Live.
Okay.
And Maryland Live had two sessions, so you still had, the Mather, Bishop McNamara, Paul VI. Then you had St. Francis from Baltimore, Mount St. Joe's from Baltimore, Spalding, with the kid that's going to Villanova, or Cam Whitmore.
That's hurting DMV basketball because if you had one big live period, then
that's where the what y'all did in Georgia stands out because you had everybody in one spot.
And
Lake was able to pluck. And you had private schools and public schools, everybody in the state playing in one spot. Okay, and basketball purists that I know that's back home, they envy that. But because of the rules,
because of the talent you guys have, and what you're saying makes 100% sense. Because I know if they were to pull DC, Maryland, and Virginia into one big team camp, come on, man, that thing would be that thing have about 300 coaches there, easy. You can even
and you know what?
What's that?
Even as fractured as it is, okay, where it's fragmented, right? I won't say fractured, but even as fragmented as it is, where you got a little section here, a little section there, a little section there, they still pretty much all the Power 5 coaches and all the ACC and the Big East, the Big Ten, the SEC, they still all came through there. So for that little, for that little bit, but just imagine, when I walked in Lake Point, I was like, geez, look at all, all these courts.
Yeah.
Now you still had you had them couple money courts that everybody was at.
Yeah, exactly.
That they had in the middle, which they did a good job of. I know Coach Whiteheart. He was, giving me the rundown on going in there. He's like, look, these 1, 2, 3, 4 courts, is where the best team's gonna be at, but there's still gonna be people, spread out.
Now you just touched.
So I like that.
So there's one thing you just hit it right on the head. So for GHSA to move forward, absolutely what you just said. But here was my beef, and I tweeted out about this. So my D3, my NAI coaches, like you just said, like court 1 through 4, like you said, them was money courts.
It wasn't necessarily the numbers, but it was like kind of in the middle, it was like 4%.
Yeah,
yeah.
I know
but
exactly
let's use those numbers.
Yeah. But the other courts is what I'm saying is they should have been laced with D3, NAI, NCC, NCCAA. That's where I'm like, okay, we're there, but we're not all the way there yet. And that's my thing. That's the way. That's where we set ourselves apart as a state. When we can get those coaches to come in and are all over those other courts picking up kids. Don't get me wrong, y'all deserve to be on the money courts, as we say. Yes, but there's nothing wrong with them. Because when I looked at the list when I walked in with you guys, I was like, this is almost every D1 coach in the country here, which is great. But I was like, where are my D2s? Where are my D3s? And yes, some of them were there. But if you're going to spend your budget, if it's limited on like an NAI budget or a D2 budget, I'm going there, right?
Yes. I would totally agree.
So that's
that place
was rocking.
Yeah. You got everything. I mean, logistically, you got everything under one roof, and you got 100+ teams. Why wouldn't you go there?
That's my point. That's my only thing. That's my only thing where I said I love seeing all you guys there. They did a phenomenal job with that. But now to take it to that next level, get all them D2s, get all them NAIs, get them JUCOs, get them in there as well. I would love to see, and maybe this is wishful thinking, I'd love to see 350 coaches up in there. Them 200 plus, D1 coaches, 100 D2s, maybe 50 to 60 D3s and, 30 or 40, NAIs or NCCAA coaches. And let me not say just for Georgia. I would want the DMV to be the same thing. I would want Texas to be the same thing, because now we got to hold the coaches to task to say, you can't say that you can't find somebody in this type of environment. There's no way you can say that.
Exactly. Yeah. I agree.
So,
myself personally, I went to Georgia. I went to the DMV.
Did you go to Rockland?
Actually won No, we had somebody else there. But I'm saying myself personally. I went to Atlanta. I went to the 2 in Maryland. It was also in Southern Virginia, up at Blue Ridge. That was, smaller, but it was good.
Pretty good.
Gym was hot though. Gym was real hot though. And then Philly Live, man. Philly Live, like, Andre Noble and John Moscow, man. They did a great job, because you get the Philly teams, you get the New Jersey team.
You get the nerd, but see,
and then an hour away from there, Blair Academy has something. So you have something at Blair.
My God.
So if you could go to Philly, Joe Mantegna does a great job.
Yeah.
So you can go Philly and Blair. You can do that in the same weekend. I mean, it's out there hour and 15 minutes. I mean, hour and a half at the most.
Well, why not have Philly and Jersey together? Don't that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
I'm just saying, like, if I'm trying to sell,
and I don't know that all these places got these state federation rules. See,
that's a good point.
But here's the thing, Dave. As we progress with the high school events, the rules got to progress to benefit everybody.
Absolutely.
See what I'm saying? The rules got to, we all got to progress as the movement keeps moving forward, right?
Yeah.
And, I would just hope that, that as smart as these people are, we can figure something out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, y'all did. Heck, y'all did. I mean, y'all. I mean, Georgia was the state of Georgia was the model. You know, Texas had a big one.
Yeah.
You know, the West Coast. They had the event in Arizona, and
I
you
heard
had
that one
teams from
at
California
PHH
in
Prep.
it.
Wasn't that PHH Prep?
I don't know the name. I don't know the name affiliation, but you had teams from multi-states in that. You
Yes.
had the
Yes.
California teams were in it, Nevada
That's
teams
the
were
one.
in it, as
Uh-huh.
well as the Arizona teams. So it was a really good event.
You went to
And
that
I
one?
would probably say it probably was equivalent to y'all's event in Texas for the West Coast, because that was a big one on the West Coast.
So you went to that one? You went to that event?
No, I didn't, but I knew about it. You know, I knew
Okay.
people that went there, and you just seen the representation of the team from multi-states out there.
And see,
I mean, the whole Pac-12 was there.
see, that's why, like, I didn't get a chance to go, but like I said, this year I want to go to Texas, but at some point I want to go to that West Coast because I want to see, just like what you are seeing, I just want to see it from a reporting standpoint, like, okay. But I want to be like you all. I want a bang for my buck. That's why DMV, if y'all listening, y'all get together and stop playing, because y'all have one of the best ones. If y'all all would just get together, whether it's some federation bureaucracy, if y'all can get that together, everybody will be at that one. Everybody. And it just makes sense.
I mean, and look, and like I said, as fragmented as it was, people still with it. You got Bishop O'Connell. They were in it. They were in the Maryland Live, and they in Virginia. So you got Paul Six and Bishop O'Connell from Virginia. They in it. But then here Gonzaga is like 20 minutes away. They can't play in the event. Man, that's crazy. Come on, man. St. John's, 20 minutes
Is
away.
Reston
Can't
Lake
be
still
in it.
good? Is Reston still good?
South Lakes in Reston, Virginia.
Yeah. Not like they used to be.
I don't know how good they are. Nah, not that ain't no Hills walking around. Ain't no Grand Hills walking around.
But
yeah,
like you just agreed, it's just, man, like, people that are familiar with DMV, you're like, boy, if y'all mix that together, and like you said, even as fragmented as it is, boy, they put that together. Yeah. I don't know what.
Hey man, and you had Baltimore. Baltimore came up. With St. Francis and Mount St. Joe's and Spalding. I mean, why can't we get the? And then see, the thing that hurts is that the local public schools didn't have anything.
What?
Yeah, nothing. Yeah, nothing. See, it was all private school.
Man.
And you got here you got some really good. That's what I'm saying, man.
Yeah, you got some hitters, man, in the public schools. That got to change.
I'm with you. I'm with you, man. It has to. But that just goes to show you, okay, it ain't all together, man. It ain't all together. And the public school kids, man, they the ones they get,
they missing out big time, man.
Yes.
Because a lot of them can't afford to go to camps. You know what I mean? Unless they're, shoe circuit kids and they're going to go to EYBL camp or Adidas camp. But
those guys.
But if you're one of those up and coming or late blooming kids, that's like, we had kids people never heard of. They went to GHSA team camp and showed out. Now they got 8-9 colleges after them. You know what I'm saying? And that was the point of it. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
That was man. See, that irritates, man. I'm gonna write an article about that, man, because that just has to change, man. That has to.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, the guys I know, the coaches is trying to explain to me why this got to be this way, and that make no sense, man.
Yeah,
no sense. And here's the thing: the people that get hurt are the kids. The kids, the ones that get hurt because they're missing out on opportunity.
But isn't this what we're supposed to be about? Isn't this supposed to be about the kids and not about adults?
And you know what? I'm gonna say this. It ain't always the kids' fault. Okay,
That's true.
A lot of times, be the adults. Be the adults, man. Be the adults.
Man, I hate to hear that, man. Hopefully they'll come together, and for the sake of the kids, man. I mean, don't get me wrong. I think it's great that the Catholic schools come together and throw a phenomenal event, but man, we need them Southerns in there. We need them Lake Cliftons in there. We need those schools.
I mean, you got Eleanor Roosevelt. Okay, great program in Prince George's County. It's probably 15 minutes from Maryland's campus. 15 minutes from DeMatha. Okay, Najee Marshall that plays for the Pelicans. Went to school there. Okay, they always gonna have somebody. They always do. Every few years they gonna have somebody. Okay. Delonte West, they played at St. Joe's, played in the NBA. He went to school there. So the guy, Paul VI, Glenn Ferrello, he started out at Eleanor Roosevelt.
Okay.
But, and his older sister is the coach there now, and he's doing a phenomenal job. And he always gonna have somebody. It's a big school. It's in a nice area. It's in Greenbelt, Maryland. It's a nice area. They always gonna have somebody every couple of years. He always gonna have somebody, and they can't play in the event.
Man, I'm gonna date both of us on this one because we're in the same age group, and the reason why I know about these schools, and I know during your time, yes, 5-star was the move when you were coming through, but do you remember Metro Index Camp when you was coming through?
I went there.
Which one? With Joe Butler?
I went to California, PA.
Cal PA, yes, exactly.
So here's the crazy thing. I went. You remember the name John Turner? John Turner played at Georgetown. He was a first-round pick for the Houston Rockets.
You were 2 or 3 years ahead of me. You were 2 or 3 years.
Me and John Turner, we went to camp together, and Donnie Gray and Reggie Greenwood took us to camp and brought us home.
Okay.
Donnie Gray worked several Final Fours in college. He used to referee my boys' club games when I came up. So did Reggie Greenwood. And they ended up being college referees. Okay. And they transported us up there and back. And Metro Index was, back then you had 5-star and you had BC Camp. And you had BC Camp. 5-star and BC were two big ones, then you had Metro Index.
Exactly.
So Metro Index kind of like was the today's version of Hoop Group. So
yes, absolutely, yes.
Before Hoop Group got really, really big. Before Hoop Group, there was some good players. There was some good players at Metro Index. Armand Gilliam,
he's from Pittsburgh.
Was it Doug West? Doug West that played at Villanova. He's from Altoona, PA. So those regional kids, they were there. Yeah.
Jimmy Jackson was there. And so that's how I got to meet a bunch of you guys from the Maryland area, because you guys would come up. That's how we got to meet the Craig Tysons and those type of guys that were coming through. And we were like, man, these guys are, were gritty and tough, but Pittsburgh was always looked at as a football town. We was like, no, we got hoopers here now.
Pittsburgh's only 4 hours from DC.
Yeah.
And if you live in Baltimore, it's even closer. It might be like 3,
3 and some change.
3 and some change, yeah.
And a lot of people move to the DC area from Pittsburgh once they leave. It's either New York, DC, or Atlanta, sometimes Chicago. But and that's how we got to know. And then we would play in the McDonald's Classic that used to be in West Virginia, which was the kind of like midway point for all of us to play. We got to play St. John's, and we got to know those schools between camps and, Christmas tournaments. We got to know you guys very well. Then we went to Vegas my senior year. That's where we got to see DC Dunbar. Because at the time, I thought there was only one Dunbar. I was like, oh, no, it's Baltimore Dunbar. It was like, no, this is DC Dunbar. I was like, oh, they're pretty good, man. And, you know, you get to learn all that stuff. So, man, when I think about how different it is than, when we was coming through, like you said, and as soon as I said Metro, I knew you was going to connect because you from Maryland and all y'all came up there, you know what I'm saying, at Cal PA. And then you either went to 5-star at Radford or you went to Robert Morris.
Oh, you went to Robert Morris, yeah.
Uh-huh.
And then they moved, and then Radford they moved it from Radford to Hampden, Sydney. Hampden, Sydney is right outside of Farmville, Virginia, where Longwood is.
Yeah,
so that's where most recent. So actually, when I was coaching in high school, when I was coaching at Bishop McNamara, those sessions were at Hampden, Sydney. Hampden, Sydney, also had a team camp.
Okay.
They had team camp literally like a month before 5-star. And I'm gonna tell you this, that's where the Chris Paul blow up started at Hampden, Sydney 5-star.
Really?
And
that's where.
And I worked it. I worked it. So I saw it. I saw it right before my eyes.
And that's why
he was coming in there, and Garfinkel said, Coach Garf said,
Coach Garfinkel, yeah, Coach Garf. When I went to 5-star, that's when Sean Bradley, Jamal Mashburn, Derek Phelps, those were my years right there. I remember they sent Sean Bradley home. They sent him home because he wasn't Sean Bradley. He was like 10th grade Sean Bradley, like 6'11", 175 pounds Sean Bradley. So, the New York kids was giving him the business. You know what I mean? But, when I think about that, and then, of course, the round ball was what the McDonald's Classic is, in Pittsburgh. Everybody was trying to get to the round ball. And that's what I tell people. I'm like, man, you understand we were a football town, yes, but most of your big stuff for round ball, Metro Index, 5-star, Robert Morris, I said, we got to see some of the best basketball players in the country every summer. Well, starting in the spring with the Round Ball Classic, and then when it came time for Metro and 5-star, that was in our backyard.
And then we had our version. We had our version with the T Capital Classic.
The Capital Classic was real good. Yeah, the Capital Classic was real good. Yeah, I remember. I remember
so
the Capital
Classic.
It
fell off, but that thing was, man.
Yeah.
I remember seeing them bias and.
That's one of my favorite
Coach
players.
Coach Dawkins now, but Johnny Dawkins was a bad dude, man.
Oh, absolutely, he was a bad dude. I remember
bad dude.
I remember when he dunked on David Robinson when he was at Duke. Yeah, but DC always had players. The DMV area, all that. When we got to talking about this when we first met, I was like, that's some of the best ball in the country, hands down. Some of the best ball. That's why if y'all listening out here, DMV, please come together and just put one big team camp together. Y'all probably will shut it down and have one of the best camps if y'all just would get rid of y'all federation rules or whatever y'all got going on. Y'all hurting these kids by not doing that because you'll have every coach from every level trying to get in there to grab one of those players. Plain and simple. But man, we're gonna wrap this up, man.
Man.
You my dog, man. I appreciate you, man. Definitely appreciate you.
I appreciate you having me on. Man, anytime you want me back, you got it. Just let me know.
I appreciate it.
You want to help get somebody else on, just let me know.
Absolutely. Now, I probably will be calling you about that, especially on the DC side.
Yeah.
Definitely. Man, and I'm going to take a look at y'all schedule, man, because I want to get up there, man. Man, I've never been inside East Carolina's arena, and I want to get in there. I've been past it. I've never been in there. So I want to get in there and check it out, man.
Give you the grand tour, man. Let me know.
Definitely. Hey, man, quick question. Y'all do an elite camp up there, right?
We did, yeah, we did one. We did one this past, this past year we did one. So yeah, I mean we've done it, man.
Do you do them like in August or July? When do y'all do them?
We did. We had it. It was in August. Yeah.
Good. If you do it in August, let me know, man. I just want to come up and check out some of the kids at your elite camp, man.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, no doubt.
So, man, we'll wrap some more, man. Again, man, I appreciate you so much, man. Like, I'm sure we're going to be seeing each other in the next couple of months. Are you going to Final Four?
Lord willing.
Well,
hopefully I'm playing it.
yeah, definitely. Definitely if you're playing in it. But, man, if you go in the Final Four, I'll absolutely.
Nah, no doubt.
Okay.
No doubt.
Hey, man, I appreciate
all
you,
right, brother.
Man. We'll wrap, all right?
Yeah, man. Happy New Year, man. God bless you. Stay safe, stay healthy. All right.
Hey, man, absolutely, man. You do the same, man. We'll be talking soon, all right?
All right, man. Later,
all
dude.
Right, take care. My man. Coach Jackson, man, as y'all can see, man, me and my man can talk, just about anything basketball related. I mean, we had 2.5 hours on the podcast to kick off the new year. Just to let you guys know, big event coming up here in Atlanta. I got together with Baseline to Sideline. We're going to be holding a post-grad showcase here January 29th and January 30th here in Atlanta. It's going to be a core 4. It's going to be some of the top post-grad teams in the Southeast. The event is growing. I'm looking forward to it. We're looking at probably around 30 to 40 teams that'll be an event. We're still working on the live stream part. That hasn't been confirmed yet, but we're working on it. Quality event, coaches from all levels. If you want to come check it out, hit us up. We'll be posting out some more about the teams and players that'll be in the event these next 2 or 3 weeks on Twitter. So if you have any questions, you can reach out to me or you can reach out on the Hoops Hidden Gems Twitter page. Till next week, we're back in the lab now that we're back and the new year's over. And I spent the last 3 weeks covering games and commentating games. We missed a couple of the podcasts because most of the Mondays we were out at Lemon Street. We were at Champions Classic. We were at Tournament of Champions. And now we're back. And Hoops Hidden Gems podcast is here to kick off 22 and make it even better with some great coaches. And we're going to bring back the women's coaches. Women, do not get upset. Don't chop my head off. The women's coaches will be getting interviewed. And we're going to bring back the unsigned segment, which a lot of people have been asking for. We're going to bring that back and get it rolling. So till next Monday, you guys take care. I'm David Jones with Hoops Hidden Gems podcast. You take care.